Hello, everybody. My name is Bobby Peacock. Um, for those of you guys that don't know who I am, usually I do these videos called personal life updates, and they're full of excitement, full of fun. But today is not the case. My heart absolutely breaks right now. I am so proud to be able to live in a country where we have so many freedoms and we are so blessed. But my heart aches. And I know when it comes to this topic that I'm going to talk about, I am a nobody. I mean, I'm just your average Joe trying to provide for my family and trying to be a good witness as long as I'm alive. So I'm labeling this as my official address. I have been silent when it comes to this topic for ever since I realized that I was black, which was when I was 10, 11. So that's like 17 years. But more specifically, I've been silent within the topic of race for the past 7 years because I was afraid of people looking at me as an angry black man. I was afraid of what my white friends would say when I come out and say how I really feel. And so today, I am ending that silence. So, obviously, many of you guys that are watching this have seen the news of the George Floyd incident. And this incident breaks my heart for a couple of reasons. One, a human life was mistreated, a human life was disregarded for a power trip, a trip of authority. And that angers me because the people that we go to for help in need when it comes to the law are killing people. And it breaks my heart to see that one police officer decides to do something so inhumane that now it strikes fear even more anytime that I get pulled over. Can you can you imagine having a son and when he gets his driver's license and when he starts driving, having to explain to him, when you get pulled over, this is what you're going to have to do for the sake of his life? Every day that I get in a car or anytime that I go 5 over the speed limit, anytime that I see a highway patrolman or a police officer, immediately I think, if I get pulled over, what's going to happen? That is a genuine fear that I have. And it shouldn't be that way. The people who serve and protect us should not be the ones that are killing us. And yes, I have friends and I know people who have either served for this country or served in the police force, and I am so grateful for them. And there is a such thing as good cops, but tell me, in this situation, where were the good cops? In this situation, how are the good cops standing up? On a national level, on a local level, how are they speaking out? It just breaks my heart that this man is getting handcuffed. And at that point, on the ground, the threat is neutralized. And yet this man has a knee on his neck as he's trying to plead with the police officer. As he's trying to plead with the police officer so that he can breathe. But yet in Madison, Wisconsin, they can have a peaceful protest where majority white people with guns are storming the Capitol or whatever, and yet no one gets hurt. Now, don't sit there and tell me that there's no such thing as white privilege. You can't no longer tell me that. Don't tell me that there's no such thing as white privilege when you don't have to have those conversations with your sons or your daughters when they get pulled over. Don't tell me that there is no such thing as white privilege until you have walked in my shoes. Don't tell me. I have been mistreated my high school career, my college career, even as an adult, I have been mistreated. I have been looked down upon simply because I am black. I have dreadlocks. I have tattoos. Don't matter if you can put me in a suit or whatever. I have still been mistreated. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us living in a place of ignorancy to the fact that we don't believe that there is a problem. Even in our local community of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, there is a problem. And that's what breaks my heart. I don't know if many of y'all saw this, but at the Falls Park, someone decided to spray paint the word nigger on a map that was open to the public. So don't tell me that there is not a problem. You guys might think, oh, kids will be kids. What kind of excuse is that? Because it is not an excuse. Now I want to address the whole Black Lives Matter thing and how some people get so angry about that statement, Black Lives Matter. I get it. All lives matter, truly. But when you go to a doctor's office and you have a broken arm, you're not going to tell the doctor, hey, I need you to check out the rest of my body except this broken arm. No, the doctor is going to address your broken arm first. And in the world that we are living in right now, I feel that black people are that broken arm. And I feel more than ever that white people need to step up and use their privilege to say something, to address that problem. Because if it keeps on getting ignored, things are going to get a lot worse. People are already rioting in the streets, which absolutely breaks my heart. Now more than ever, I wish MLK was here. I wish someone in the church would step up and use their privilege to speak out against this. I wish that more people would listen with open arms and see with open eyes. I think now more than ever, our country needs more people listening. I just challenge all of you guys that are making Facebook posts out there, which is all great stuff, but to actually reach out. I challenge all of the pastors in my community and nationally to speak out against this. to talk about this topic and this inhumane justice that is going on. Yes, we could talk about sex slavery, child slavery all day. But when it comes to the topic of race, when do we? As a church body, when do we talk about this subject? Because we don't. I want to see more churches publicly on their social medias address this topic and walk with us. I am so thankful for the 5 people that have reached out to me to ask me how I'm doing. That means so much. So I challenge you to reach out to at least 5 people of a different diverse background than you and ask them how they are truly doing during this time. So, the last thing that I'm going to say in conclusion, I have been quietly working on a project with my friend Daniel Bergenson, who came to me and said, "Hey, I want to work on a short film, and the topic has to do with race." So we sat down and we talked, and I heard his heart. And I think now more than ever, I have this amazing ability to work on a project as an executive producer of a short film called Hazard. And this project all has to do with a family that decides to take a road trip, a black family, and has a certain interaction with a police officer. No one gets shot, but it's the idea of something that should be so simple becomes escalated. Just like in the George Floyd case, something as so simple as resisting arrest and the threat being neutralized to leading up to a death, as simple as a black family traveling to go somewhere and then a routine stop turns into an escalation. We purposely made it that no one gets shot because we don't want it to be that kind of movie. But the point of it is there's these kind of interactions and there's these kind of fears that happen. It is time. It is time. It is time more than ever for people to step up. More than a Facebook post. Because it's so easy to hide behind a Facebook post, but then yet when you see someone like me walking down the street or walking your way, you'll turn around. So that's why I'm speaking out against this topic. In conclusion, for the second time, Black Lives Matter. More than ever.